Hello, beautiful ones, and welcome to another Q&A. I am so excited to jump into this juicy topic. My name is Lucy Shah Jahan, and it is my mission to empower as many women as possible on this planet to get their heart open so you can attract in the love of your life, totally dial up your relationship with money, improve your friendships, improve your health. Hey, Margot, I can bring you on right now. Yay! All right, very special guest, so bear with me as I'm adding her.
Hi. Oh, it worked. Finally.
Yay! So you are good at tech.
See, sorry, it just, takes me a little while.
That's okay. Listen, we're here. So I was just doing a little intro, and I'm just opening up my iPad because I've got a couple of notes tonight because I really want to be as precise as I can to bring as much value to this conversation. And this community is for you girls. It's very much about bringing your voice, asking questions because, obviously I'm here to shine the light and to really crack open topics
Yep.
and things that we're putting in the way. But I thought, why not bring on an amazing soul sister who just a matter of weeks ago was literally saying, just haven't met the right guy yet, and there's a lot behind that phrase. So Margot, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your insights with us.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for
And
having me.
oh, pleasure. Well, I haven't had you yet, so. But I'm just going to quickly, so I'll just do a little bit of an intro, and then I'd just love to get into your world and just how it's, on a deeper level, how you've been really feeling about love, because you're such an
Okay.
amazing woman, and there's a lot of amazing women in this community, just like
Yeah.
you, who want to attract in, the love of their life, not just some relationship to pass time, but like someone to create a family with, someone to have a meaningful, amazing life with, right?
Yep.
So that's why I thought, you know what, Margot, let's bring you on. And you've got your doggy
Yeah.
there?
I do. He's sleeping, luckily.
Oh, bless him. My mum, so she's got a dog called Gazpacho, and today my mum ordered Gazpacho, and I was like, oh my
I love
God.
it. It's a good
Anyway,
sign.
so I said I'd be precise. So let's dive on in. So today is very much about, if you found yourself, telling yourself or telling people, I just haven't met the right guy yet. That's what it is. That's what my issue is. I just, it's just a timing thing. Um, and really that's all that's really going on. It's going to happen,
Hmm.
but I just haven't met him yet, right? Because it's a place that we can hide. Because what it does is it puts, it's almost like we hand it out back to the universe and say, well, the universe hasn't brought him to me yet. And we actually put it outside of ourselves instead of actually taking responsibility and looking back and going, hang on a minute, wasn't with my soulmate this time last year, wasn't with my soulmate this time the year before that. And we're already into August and he's still not here yet. Maybe there's something going on with me internally, right? And that's what I want you girls to really take into heart right now is we can't afford to get caught up in the fairy tale that Hollywood presents to us. Um, of like, oh, it's just going to happen. It's just going to sort itself out. My knight in shining armor is just going to find me when I least expect it. It's a really beautiful idea and concept, but it's costing you a lot right now to literally be putting that out there because it's actually essentially putting a big wall up where you're not actually in action and you're not doing the work to get you into alignment, which means that so many potential soulmates are actually passing you by right now because
Hmm.
you're not ready, because you're in this story that it's just going to happen when it happens. But notice right now, crickets. It's not just happening. By the way, can you hear it echoing?
No.
Okay, so it's just, I can hear it a little bit.
Hmm.
You got your earphones on too, so
Yeah.
that's all right. So this sense of like it not being urgent, can't wait to get into your world, but I just wanted to kick this off to get some thoughts going here. Hey, gorgeous Eleni and Chelsea, my soul sisters, who you'll be meeting as well, Margot.
Okay.
So what it does is when we hide behind it just hasn't happened yet, it actually keeps us out of urgency. It puts it outside of ourselves. Sometimes you might just think, oh, well, I haven't been putting myself online and that's what it is, or I haven't been going out much and that's what it is, which is super top line. At the end of the day, just like you and I talked about on our first phone call, Margot, it's like we're all energy. And if you
Yeah.
think you're in a soulmate relationship and you're not, you want to ask yourself, am I okay with like tolerating this? Like, you know, you can't keep telling yourself and robbing yourself of the future that you want by not actually putting skin in the game, by not taking a good look at yourself and getting the support, because there is a lot on the line. Hope is not a strategy. Friends are not experts. And I actually just spoke to a gorgeous woman who said, you know, I'm asking my friends for advice, I'm asking my parents for advice, and they're telling me there's nothing wrong with me. It's just that I haven't met him yet. I'm like, yeah, there it goes again.
Yeah.
And it's BS. And I'm so passionate and committed to actually shining the spotlight on the truth and looking at why you are protecting yourself, why you're keeping yourself safe. Because you've got to know right now, please take it from me, because I used to say I just haven't met him yet myself. It's a hiding place. And it's stopping you from looking within and looking at the blocks and the blind spots and the parts of you that perhaps you kept safe for a very long time, because the last time you let someone in, it didn't work out, right? So I'm going to hand it over to you right now, Margot, and then I'll circle
Okay.
back just on, before you got on a call with me, where were
Mm-hmm.
you really sitting in your life? Like, you're such a beautiful woman. You've got such a great energy. And I know you girls have just met her, but I can really say that. She's just such a light. It's not like Margot came to me just all like, you know, this hot mess and she was on her last legs. Not at all. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful soul. But Margot, if you could just let us in to kind of what was really going on at a deeper level for you, it'd be so helpful.
I think, I mean, that call for me was huge because I think, like you said, there's the stories we tell ourselves. And I think I'd even gotten to the point where I knew, okay, this has been going on for long enough that this isn't a question of just I haven't met the right guy yet or the time isn't right yet. I think I'd even been able to acknowledge the fact that, man, that might have been an excuse that might have worked for a short period of time, but just considering how many years it's been, I sort of have realized, okay, there's something within me that I'm doing, but even if I'm self-aware, I don't have the tools. I have no idea, consciously or subconsciously, what I'm doing that's blocking me. So I feel like your call was like, okay, you're self-aware enough to know that this is within your power and your control, but I don't have the framework to change my behavior.
Well, actually, Margot, that was one of the things I noticed about you right away, right? We had such a good connection because you had been working on yourself for 10 years, right?
Yes.
It's not like you were lazy. You've been doing therapy. It's not like
Totally.
you were so, I want you girls to hear that. She had been literally doing therapy for 10 years. That's not someone who's lazy, right?
No.
It's someone though, and this is representing a lot of people right now that are frustrated, where it's like you're not sitting there doing nothing, but you weren't getting the outcome. So it's like at some point you've got to go, well, hang on a minute. Like, why am I going to keep going down this path when it's not getting me the outcome? Nothing's shifting. You weren't noticing any change. So
Yeah.
what I loved and noticed, like I said, was you came super duper aware about yourself. Yeah. And we acknowledged that. I was like, look, you've got epic awareness, but awareness without integration,
Yes.
it's pointless, because I used to be there too, Margot. Like, I used to know, oh my God, I've got major trauma and abandonment from my dad, and I think every guy is going to leave me. Being aware of that,
Yeah.
just had me keep attracting in the same guys, and it gave me almost like this get out of jail free card, where I was like, well, I know what my stuff is, so hey Danny, so I don't have to deal with it because I know what it is. But I suddenly got to a point where I was like, oh shit, I really do want family, and I'm being too smart for my own good here. And and essentially what it was doing, Margot, was that it was keeping you safe because you were doing the work.
Yep.
Right?
Totally.
You weren't just sitting there twiddling your thumbs. You were doing the work, but it was in a way that was still able to keep your heart safe.
Yes. I wasn't actually breaking anything down or tearing anything down. And I feel like self-awareness can only get you so far. And then it's a question of like, okay, how do you actually take control and shine in your light to make a change with your behaviors because they're very ingrained for a very long period of time.
This is what I want you to hear right now. Like, you know, this is not about feeling like you're a special case. And, you know, I've already done a live about the fact that it's like, why do I have to invest in myself? Why do I have to get support when my friends get into relationships for free? It's like, do you want their relationship? Also, we have different paths, different journeys, different soul contracts, right? And it's irrelevant what anyone else is doing. It's a case of going, have I got what I want yet? And if not, let me do the work to get there.
Yes.
So how were you really feeling then, having done 10 years, knowing that you're a great catch, yet nothing was still happening with this story of like, it's just going to happen when it happens? Like, how is this really impacting you on a day-to-day basis, Margot?
I think it had definitely gotten to the place where, man, my sense of urgency, it's permeating every part of my life. I mean, I have wonderful close friendships. I'm very close with my family. I'm starting my own business. And yet there's this like giant hole. And you can only compartmentalize to so far. And it just felt like, okay, I clearly clicked on your link for some reason, whether I was aware of it or not. And when you had said, like, where do you want to be a year from now? Or where have you been a year prior and a year before that? It's like, man, I'm doing the work, but the work's not working for me. So I have to try something different.
That's right. And did it feel scary for you to actually?
Oh my God, yeah. I was terrified.
Well, you know, I'm laughing now because you're actually on this journey and you're killing it and you're in this process and you're a dream, to be honest, you're a dream client. But just to let us into your world, having already, you know, 10 years is like, I just want to reiterate, like, that's a decent chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
So what had you go, okay, well, let me try something different. Let me trust this. That's completely different to what you've been doing.
It's totally different than what I've been doing. My therapy has just all been about self-awareness and origins and why I am the way I am. And I think when I spoke to you and you explained the process, it almost felt like I have nothing to lose because what I've been doing by myself isn't working.
Yeah.
And I could acknowledge I needed some sort of a guide or some sort of a program or a vehicle. But also when you kind of spoke about it, nothing you said was out of left field. Everything resonated. And when you spoke about like what you like attracts like and what you put out into the universe is inevitably what you're going to attract back.
Yeah.
It was just a different way of approaching it. And it gave me more control and more power to kind of change my path as opposed to just understanding why I am the way I am.
Right. You felt like it was something tangible you could get your teeth into.
Yeah.
So, okay, beautiful. So then what was it that scared you the most about being like, okay, we're still in this conversation, beauties, okay, about like, oh, it's going to happen when it happens. But what scared you the most about the fact that it wasn't happening, right? This guy just wasn't coming along. Like, why did it suddenly become urgent for you that this needed to change right now?
I think that's a good question. I think just probably the amount of time and my age that I've been single. It felt like, what the hell am I waiting for? It hasn't been changing. And time is of the essence. Like, whether or not I want to have children or have a family, that's obviously a biological component, but also, like, why am I tolerating not having this in my life?
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious. Like, so much better out of your mouth than mine because I talk about this all the time, but we've got to we've got to realize, like, holy shit, like, I was at this leadership conference the other day. It blew my socks off around all these thought leaders. This one guy recently lost his wife to cancer in a flash, 35 years old.
Oh my God.
Soulmates. He said, just gives me chills literally through my body. We don't have time.
Yes.
Stop acting like we have fucking time.
Yes.
And I live by this. It is lazy. It is like we get into denial, and I'm speaking to you like with you, not at you. Like, this is for all of us. We've got to stop sitting there thinking that life is just going to come to us. The universe is constantly giving us what we expect. And as you beautifully said, Margot, we get what we attract, who we are. And
Yeah.
that hit me in the face like a wet fish when someone said that to me 10 years ago. I went, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like sitting here like ducking and hiding and putting up smoke and mirrors that everything's fine when it just so wasn't. And that's our society, that's our culture. So don't beat yourself up if you're watching this that perhaps you haven't taken any action yet, but really get friggin' honest that nothing is just going to naturally change on its own, and your man isn't just going to suddenly sweep you up in his arms and make everything okay.
Yep.
Why do I know that? Because right now, many of you aren't putting the emphasis on you. You need to be your own soulmate first. And if you haven't watched my masterclass, it's free. Go knock yourself out. It's in this group. Watch it a couple of times because there's so much content in there, right? Whether we ever talk or not, it doesn't matter. Go and watch it because until we learn how to bring in our heart, how to be vulnerable, and how to put ourselves first for real, you're not going to have a man prioritizing you, and you're not going to attract in the kind of guy that you're actually dreaming about. It doesn't happen. And this is really the underbelly, is that so many of you in here, trust me, I've spoken to a lot of you, don't believe at a fundamental level that you can have this type of relationship. A lot of people say to me, oh, Lucy, you're just lucky, or it just isn't like that. I'm not the sort of person that attracts soulmate. You know, and I said it's bullshit. The story you're telling is going to keep you attracting the dropkicks. Are you okay with that? Or are you sick of tolerating it, like Margaret said? Because every single person on the planet is worthy of and deserves a soulmate relationship. If you don't have that, then I ask you right now, what are you doing to actually get out of that shitty paradigm, out of that shitty story, out of the suffering and the panic and the anxiety, right? Because then that starts to lead to illness. That's where we start to get in the body because we're not thriving. And it impacts a lot more than just having a relationship. It impacts our health. It impacts our finances. Often you'll look around and you realize there's scarcity around that as well. You're not taking risks in other aspects of your life. And it has a knock-on effect in every single aspect. So you're starting to see this now, Margot, that this isn't just about soulmate. It's about getting into alignment with your fucking greatness so that you can attract in someone that reflects greatness back to you. How fucking cool is that?
I think it's awesome.
Like, it's something to get excited about because, staying in the story of, just waiting, not powerful.
No.
And B, getting honest about what it's really costing you right now to not have this beautiful love in your life. The thing I want to also say is that, like, getting the guy should not be our whole outcome. It's about having ourselves first and being so deeply lit up by our own life, by our own self, and feeling capable again, and that we can actually attract in that level of relationship. That's where you need to be before you even think about dating goals. This should be liberating to hear. Don't just keep going out there and making this a numbers game. Don't just go out there from a place of panic and fear trying to make it happen. Don't do that. Love yourself enough to do the work to get your heart open, to get very clear about what you really want from a feeling place, not an intellectual place. And even just getting into action and realizing that we're coming to the second part of the year and this isn't going to fix itself. And there's nothing more important, right? Many of you are in here, or you're all in here because you want to be in a soulmate relationship. So what would you say, Margot, that now that you've started doing the deep work and you're in a process now getting very different support, what has started to open up for you? I know you're very early on. She's in Soul to Soul. She's very, very new in Soul to Soul. But I wanted to bring her on. I just felt called to bring you on. How are you doing now where you've actually taken completely different action to put yourself into alignment?
I think two things that I've noticed. One is, like you said, it's very empowering. So all of a sudden, like most of the women in this module, like we're all self-starters. We're all probably type A. We all like are career driven and go after what we want. And it's giving you the freedom and the tools to say that this aspect of my life is just as important, if not more, than my professional career.
Oh my God,
And
Margot.
why shouldn't I give it that time and that energy?
Yes.
Which is huge because nobody really has ever said that to me before.
Oh my God. Like we can just wrap right there because
Yeah, I was like, oh, you said something. You were like, you have to schedule this in to your calendar like you would a meeting with the CEO. And I was like, oh my God, I would never blow off a meeting with the CEO. And this is really freaking important.
yes, Margot. And this is the point that when we are just hiding behind putting it outside of us and it's just going to magically happen, right?
Yeah.
It's a trap. It's like literally putting your dreams on the back burner,
Yeah.
putting your eggs on the back burner. And anyone that knows anything about fertility needs to know that's a whole other kettle of fish. If you haven't had your fertility tested, what are you waiting for? Don't live in denial. Get out there and take care of it. Margot has.
Test it. Just, it feels so good just to know.
Get out there. Do not sit there living in denial for another minute. What are we, the 5th of August? What are you waiting for? 5th of August 2020? No. You girls are too important. You beautiful women in here are too important to put your dream off, to put yourself off, and to just be, you know, in this notion of like, well, it's just going to sort itself out. No. You know, 40 comes around really quickly. And then there's 50 where you really have missed the boat. And I don't want that for anyone in here because the truth is, it is absolutely possible. Read my lips, 100,000% possible to attract in the love of your life. But you've just got to be committed like you would be when you want to go and study something at university. You go and invest in yourself. You get people that are going to be able to mentor you. You get, you know, people that are really experienced to take you through a process. You don't go, oh, I'm just going to do university like on my own and just read a few books. No, and it's amazing. Here's the other thing, amazing, like how many women I speak to that invested heaps in university and they're like, I'm not even using my degree. I'm like, okay, so that was something you really wanted, was important to you, and it was a no-brainer to go and get the support. We're not taught that as a culture, like put that energy and put those resources into yourself, into your life, into your happiness. If only this was something being shouted from the rooftops around, you know, in every single country. It's like you need to hear that this is the most important thing. I'm giving you permission if you can't give it to yourself. Margot literally just said, what you said without saying it is, Lucy, you're giving me permission to make it about me.
Yeah.
And until it's about you, it's never going to be about you. There's people pleasing, there's overcompensating. I've got to be a nice girl, I've got to be liked. That shit is like walking into oncoming traffic. Don't do it. You're going to get hit. You're going to get dumped. You're going to get ghosted. You're going to get the guy that marries the next person because you are not sitting in your divine value and it's showing up in every other area of your life. This is the thing that comes up in Soul to Soul. You've noticed it, Margot, that we cover other aspects because they're all connected. So,
completely. Yeah, you feel it already, like permeating everything.
Everything. It's about up leveling your life into a first class life instead of treating yourself like the freaking understudy, the extra. You know, and that's what we do. We're just like, oh, I'll be fine. And that's how we're taught, you know.
Even doing, I mean, I'm earlier on in the module, so it's like, it's all about positivity and visualization and what do I want. And I'm laughing at myself because I've never really taken the time to sit down and to think and to draw out, hey, what do I want? What does it look like? How does it make me feel? I would do that for my career.
Exactly, right? And we're not going to go into, you know, any of the modules, but it's like, what I'm loving hearing right now is that, Margot, you put yourself first.
Yeah.
You said, I'm not willing to tolerate another year of this, and I know that being aware is not enough.
Yeah.
And now you're in action, and now you're getting the support. And the one thing I want to say to you girls listening is that, as I said, time goes really quickly, right? And there's a lot riding on it. 1 year turns into another. When nothing's being put in place, you've got to look at yourself and go, why am I being lazy? Why am I sitting in denial? Why am I acting like I can't actually solve this? Yeah? Or why am I trying to make myself be the one to figure this out? That's ridiculous, right? Powerful women get support, right? You look around at people that are up to big things in the world. You think Brené Brown is there on her own. You think Oprah's there on her own. They've got a whole friggin' team of support. I'm supported every single week. I don't run my business and empower women from around the world without getting support. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't dream of it. I walk my talk, right? I invest a shitload in myself so that I can be the best version of myself in my marriage. You know, now this baby's coming, as a mother, it doesn't stop. So really, this is about realizing that why many of you are putting it off is that you're actually terrified to let love in, and your story suits you. Just gonna be quiet right now. Like, that's really it. And you've said that, you know, in the process you've been in right now, is you're like, it scares the living shit out of me to have to open my heart.
Totally. Right? Like, hey, look, it clearly served me. It served a purpose at some point in my life, but it's not serving me anymore.
Yeah. And it's not about living in this state of, like, I've had women say to me, I'm broken and I'm just damaged goods. It's bullshit. You know, I've had women that have come and got out of, you know, sexual abuse trauma, and they realize they are whole. And it's just because this has happened to them, it does not define or make them any less whole. So please don't be sitting there in the victimhood or tolerate that you can't have this and put all these roadblocks up and all these reasons why. Because if you're settling for that, then no, you're never going to have that soulmate relationship. You're going to keep getting more of the same. That's how it works. And you know, when you do want to have children, you've got to realize that you've got to go in there and fight for this and show up for yourself in a way that you haven't yet, if you significantly want to change your life. I didn't just land in my relationship with my husband, not at all. I kept saying, and what else do I have to do? And what else do I have to do? And who do I need to be in order to receive my king? Because my little girl was running my life in my 30s, and I needed to get into my woman and into my empress. And that's what I teach now, right? But I was in this whole, like, blame game, and there's just no good man and all this stuff. Well, it wasn't changing anything. I was super aware like you, Margot.
Yeah.
Wasn't changing anything, and I was just all like, oh, well, just haven't met him yet. Hiding. And it got depressing when I started going into freaking weddings and everything, and suddenly the singles table kept starting to get smaller and smaller, and I'm like, shit,
and you're like, I don't want to be the one left at the singles table.
I was just like, I would start dreading it. I go to weddings and be like, how is this happening? Like, you know, at one time it was fun. I'm like, how is this happening? It's like, this is not fun. It's actually humiliating. And then you have people say, oh, let me try and set you up. But it was just like, you know, you're almost like people's project. It feels terrible. So don't tolerate it. So Danny said, but how to up-level every part of your life. It feels sometimes overwhelming to be driven in every area nonstop. This is not about being driven in every area. You're in the masculine. This is about getting into the feminine, into your heart, and literally operating out of a completely different energy, out of the queen. When we're in action all the time and overwhelming ourselves, is because we're coming from a place of fear and panic and driving, trying to make things happen. Actually repels. Trust me, that used to be me too. You know that feeling when you're trying to make things happen, and it does feel exhausting, and you do start to along the way lose hope. And then we live in all this pretending energy, which just, we actually end up tricking ourselves that everything's fine when it's not. So Danny, the up level happens when you're really willing to get vulnerable with yourself, when you're really willing to go deeper into your heart. And that's where the work is. I don't even like calling it work, because it's such a freaking game changer. But if I just sit with it for a second, it's about choosing a different way to live and moving into your higher identity, so that there's more ease, so that there's thriving, and so that you become an expert at receiving instead of constantly pushing and trying to make things happen. It is the worst way to live. That's why we're all heightened with anxiety, because it's all of this, you know, trying harder, pushing harder. That's what it comes down to. And it doesn't feel fun, and dating doesn't feel fun from that place. And I can tell you right now, you're not attractive in that place at all. It's repellent. Men find it repelling, just as we find men that are too busy or go, like repelling. Like, that's not attractive to us either, right? It goes both ways. So what I want you girls to hear right now is, for every minute that you're not stepping up and making yourself a priority and dealing with your inner world and doing the work to get your heart open and becoming a rock star at vulnerability, you are missing out on soulmates. You are literally having them pass you by. It is not that you haven't met them yet. They are waiting to meet you, but you're out of alignment. And when you're out of alignment, you're not going to notice them or recognize when they're in front of you, because you're in the seeking instead of the receiving. And that's my message to really offer you. Get the support, reach out to me, book a call, right? Not to have a chat or a chin wag. Book a call if you're serious, like Margot was. I knew in the first 3 minutes with Margot, I was like, oh, she's serious.
Oh, yeah.
I told you that, right? Like,
Yeah.
you could feel it. I was like, okay, like this woman is fucking like, she's game on. And was she scared? Yeah, she was scared.
And you even said, you were like, if I brought you your Prince Charming this weekend, you would sabotage it. You wouldn't even know what to do with him. And it's like, oh yeah, that's totally resonates with me. And this is yours for the taking.
Yes. It's and I want you to hear possibility, girls. I want you to hear, like, this live tonight reeks of possibility. What are you doing right now to take a stand for yourself and to fucking bring this dream and make it a reality, instead of just putting it out there as this vague wish? Or
Yeah.
you're asking for too much. You know, it's we get so up here on, I'm asking for too much, this kind of guy just doesn't exist. And before you know it, you talk yourself out of it, and you're just in there, out there, you know, attracting in the dregs. And then that's depressing. And then we start to get in that cycle of, well, what's the point, and all the rest of it. And then you speak to some other women that are having the same issues, and then you all talk yourself out of it, and your vibration goes down into Shitsville real fast.
Yeah.
So, Margot, thank you so much for coming on. And
Yeah.
before we jump off, like, what was it for you, like, knowing that, you know, you were very aware and you were doing the work? Hey, gorgeous Rebecca, what was it for you that really scared you the most about actually letting love in? I remember, but I want to hear it.
I think, and I haven't done more work on it yet, but I think it's the little girl in that tower that's like, hey, I have built something up that is, you know, a steel tower, a Sherman tank or whatever, that is protecting me. And I think the idea of like letting that guard down, or like letting the drawbridge down, feels terrifying, because it feels like, oh, if I let that drawbridge down and I let things in and they don't work out, I won't be able to like pull the drawbridge back up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm not going to answer that now, but because, you know, you're already doing the work on it. But that is something that many of you, and you can post in the comments below if that's you right now, but it's like, what if I open my heart and let someone in and then they spit me out, right?
Yeah.
I want you to comment below if that's how you feel right now, because that's going to keep you exactly where you are.
Yeah.
And like Margot, it's cool you're saying this right now, but you're actually now digging in to get your heart open. But it's like, that's the truth right there. That's the golden bullion that many of you are experiencing right now. And it's this constant loop. It's like Groundhog Day. It's like, you know, those, and you go in hotels, you're walking through those glass doors and you just, they just keep going around. Sometimes I'm scared of out. It's like that. And it is, you've got to take a risk when it comes to love. You've got to take a risk to open your heart, because we cannot attract in a soulmate relationship until the heart is open and until you're willing to be vulnerable, because it takes courage, and that's what big love requires. So stop feeding yourself any bullshit or hiding places about what you think love is, and actually go, if I want to be one of those women walking down the aisle, living my best life, or not down the aisle, whatever your thing is, or have children, or just have a beautiful soulmate relationship without a label, without marriage, whatever it is for you, right? Love comes in many forms. Then don't rob yourself by putting it off for another minute. We don't have time. Time does not wait for your ovaries, okay? And I say that with love, like, we just hashtag that, right? Because in our, you know, one last thing is, like, in our day and age, it's like, you know, people saying, oh, it's fine, you can have a baby at 50. Do you want to have a baby at 50? And P.S., the chances of that, like, 1%.
Slim.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Margot. And listen,
Yeah.
if anyone wants to reach out, she's only new in Soul to Soul. So
Yep.
I'd probably say just comment below, and Margot can, she's in here. She can see your comments and assist you in any way.
Totally.
From one soul sister to another. And yeah, and if you're feeling in that place, hey Rhonda, where nothing's changed, yeah, please don't harass Margot. My husband said don't harass her. If you're in that place where you're really deeply resonating with this and you know that you can't do it on your own, because the truth is we can't. I couldn't. I thought I could because I was so capable and independent. You can't. And you've really got to value and love yourself enough to go, oh my God, why not me and why not now? And next year, 2020, is my fucking year. And if it is going to be your year, then I encourage you to get into action right now. Do not put yourself off or your dream off for one more day, because you deserve it all. You deserve to thrive. And the key word here is support. When we are supported and seen and understood, there is nothing that we can't create in our life. Yeah? So that's my message. And thank you so much, Margot.
Yeah, of course.
All right,
Good
beautiful
luck,
one.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.